Hi, my name is Courtney, and you're in our bakery, Whisk and Sugar, in beautiful Charlottetown, PEI. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I've been running a cake business myself for the past 10 years, so that's kind of where the love comes from. I've been baking my whole life, so to open a storefront that is baking and cakes is a dream come true, pretty much. I always attribute it to my grandmother. I can remember she spent countless hours in the kitchen. Everything she made always seemed so amazing. It was the best of everything, and she really brought me that love of baking, and the love of food, so I attribute it to her. I have Amy, my baker, back in the kitchen, myself, and then I have a front-end girl named Hannah, and my husband as well. I think it makes it easier. I feel like it's like working with family. The girls and I have gotten really close over these last 6 months. And then obviously my husband, it's a family business, and it feels nice and rewarding, and yeah, I love having a small staff. Usually I'll wake up early in the morning. I have kids at home, and then when I get into the bakery, it's about 8 hours here. And then some nights I'll come in and work for 5 or 6 hours at night, just trying to finish some orders up. It's hard. We kind of opened in a time when we were unsure of what was going to happen, and it just kind of blew up. Usually the day before we have a bake list, so that kind of tells us what we need to get done throughout the day. And daily we have cakes, so it's just a constant come in, get the baking done, get the cakes done. We start baking from scratch. We're a small from scratch bakery, so that entails baking pretty much our entire menu daily, as it is a small batch. It's real fresh ingredients, so it's fresh lemons, and we grate those. It's real butter. Yeah, it's whole food baking. So we'll come in, the baker will start baking, and then I'll come in and I'll get my cakes going, because we also do custom cakes. And usually it's just a day-to-day, get the food out, make sure everyone loves it. The community support has been amazing. That's basically what we're riding on right now. It's when you open a business, you don't plan to deal with a world pandemic. So we were hoping for tourism and like so many other businesses, but like I said, the community support has been amazing. So that's kind of getting us through to hopefully when we can see tourism next year, and it'll hopefully be great. So I think people are looking for something a little bit different than the traditional white cake or fruit cake. So yeah, lemon has been very popular. It's a really bold, unforgettable flavor. It's very citrusy. It's a fresh flavor. Another popular is getting different flavors within different tiers. So then you have more of a variety. Also, what I found for wedding is people will just order like a little cake for the bridal party and then cupcakes for everyone else. The majority of the time people are coming to pick them up, but especially like wedding cakes, I'll go and deliver those just because there is kind of like a setup required with that. But for the most part, people just come in and pick it up. So people know what they're looking for. Usually I can get a wedding cake done within 2 or 3 days. Again, it depends on how big it is and how intricate the style is. If we have a wedding cake that has 3 tiers, it takes the same amount of time to make this one chocolate, this one vanilla, this one carrot, for instance, as it was to make all of them the same flavor. So I like giving people the option because it shows them that you can have more choice, and really it's not an extra amount of time to do it. And they all decorate pretty much the same. It's a small wedding, they don't really want to spend a lot, but I've had someone spend $500 on a wedding cake, so it just depends on who the bride is, what her taste is. Sometimes brides will request to have a very extravagant looking cake, and it's basically just for pictures and for show. So we'll use the dummy cake. It's basically just a styrofoam block of the shape of the cake. We'll decorate it with fondant and jewels, and then we'll bake just a giant sheet cake, and that's what people are actually eating. So it was a 14, a 12, and a 10. So it fed about 300 people. So that was the biggest I've ever done. It took 3 people to carry it. So it was quite large, quite heavy. I think we're fastly becoming known for our cinnamon rolls, but we also moved from Nanaimo, BC. So we have a real Nanaimo bar recipe, so those are pretty popular as well. Baking, cooking in general is a learning process throughout the whole thing. There's different trends, different ways to do things. For instance, my cinnamon roll recipe has been a 10-year process, so I think I finally nailed it down to where I've enjoyed it. So we just want the butter to be completely melted, so we're gonna put it on for a little bit longer. Like most baking things, our cinnamon rolls are a science, so we need a little bit of baking powder and baking soda to help with the magic. So we use 2 different kinds of milk in these cinnamon rolls. We use a 2%, and then we also use a buttermilk. The buttermilk is gonna give it not only flavor, but moisture and make them beautifully poofed up. Now comes the fun part, bringing everything together. So the cinnamon rolls will stay in the oven for about 15-20 minutes until they're about golden brown. And then we'll give them a quick little smush, let them cool, and then cover them in cream cheese icing. Some of our recipes, like our chocolate cake, it's my great-grandmother's recipe. So it's been passed down for generations, so it's a tried and true recipe. I think the biggest thing is you need to love your product. I think if you love your product and it's a good product, that will sell. Food is a hard business to be in. It's demanding, and customers want what they want now. So stick with it. It's hard, but it's rewarding. I feel like everyone deserves a beautiful cake on their birthday, and that's always been my stride, is to create a beautiful, tasty treat for someone on their birthday.